Testing, testing.
There we go.
Okay. Alrighty, jumping into the Overwatch Grand Finals here, it's Horlick versus Bayport. So I know that Horlick hasn't dropped a map all season, so they've definitely been the favored matchup coming into this kind of a competition. Don't know too much about Bayport. I haven't seen too much of their play, but I do know that they were able to beat their other competitor up into the Grand Finals.
Yeah, they swept the other team 3-0. They looked very strong. They worked as a team, worked as a unit, and they got one pick and they went straight in. They didn't waste any time. They got that one pick and they knew what to do, and they conserved their ults for a big team fight. So it was very smart of them to do that.
I do know that Godzo from Horlick is definitely a very strong flex DPS player who's kind of able to carry them in a lot of team fights with Hanzo. So obviously his name kind of leads it up to the Hanzo main stage. So hopefully we'll be able to see some good DPS plays from him. I do know that Horlick favors DPS comps over tank comps, so we'll kind of see how that goes.
Yeah, I've been seeing it in this tournament today. There's been a lot of 2-2-2. No goats,
Which
no
is definitely
dive.
not familiar with these kind of scenes. Definitely you see a lot more tank compositions.
I thought that was interesting. I saw we did see one dive today during one match, and it didn't work out too well, and they switched up right away.
Yeah, I know that versus Horlick, GIKs ran a lot of Orisa and quad tanks, so you're able to see the comparisons there.
Check the volume output to see if we can change where the volume is coming from.
Hello.
Hello?
Hello. Hello.
Hello, hello? Is that working now?
Yo, do you really have it though? Yeah.
I think you should be able to hear us. I don't know if you can or not.
No,
but
we
right now
can't.
You should be able to.
Now arriving at Lijiang Tower. Initiating match.
Hello? Hello? I don't think so.
It's picking up voice here, then it shouldn't be a problem.
On the stream.
It's kind of weird, yeah. I don't know. Try again.
Hello? Hello?
Were there people commentating earlier?
Well, turn that down because last time it was talking, like it was blowing up in stream. So it does pick up on the stream. It does pick up because we were watching the stream earlier. Was pick up the sound.
Yeah.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 1. Capture the objective.
Okay.
Awesome. Jumping to the first team fight here, we see the side of Bayport running straight to point, but it looks like Horlick's not going towards the point.
And we see Covert back on the Doomfist. Last round he was very, and like as you can see, he just took out the Mercy. Covert is very good on the Doomfist. Anyway, now you got a good mail. And Ryan is charged back and Doomfist got in and out of there. And May's trying to get a freeze on so she can get a couple headshots in. She froze the Doomfist, but she got slept. We see that Batiste throwing down that immortality shield. There's successful. And Doomfist already has an ult. But it looks like Bayport is just getting Harlick down.
Looks like it's a team sweep for Bayport here. We look at the ultimate card. Horlick did already get off the Doomfist. Sonadar wasn't able to get down the immortality shield in time to block the Doomfist ultimate, so that looks like a team fight for Bayport.
And you can see Gaza just switched to Hanzo.
And also important to note is that Bayport captured that point in the middle of the fight, so even though that fight happened, they already have 35% of the point cap.
That's true. And you see a Lucio switch also.
Oh, it looks like we have a DC here. I'm not controller, so I can't pause it, but... I'm not in charge, so I can't stop this in time, but it looks like we're going to lose some percentage on the point. Where's the leader of the lobby? Has to pause it. There we go. Well, unfortunately, we wasted like 10, 15 seconds there of pause time, so we might end up having to restart the map, just to be fair.
That's not what we would like to see.
So looking on the side of Horlick here, Bayport had a pretty dominant first cap. They don't have a lot of ultimates to work with because Sonaberry did switch over to Lucio from Baptiste. I think the important part to note is that the team comp on both sides was kind of limited in purpose. Horlick had a Baptiste and an Ana, which means that they play a very aggressive comp, but they weren't able to get on the point and deal with the Mei.
That's very true. But Baptiste was able to throw out the Immortality Shield and keep their teammates alive while getting the ult charge. So that's very good for them.
Top DPS there on the Reaper. Also wasn't able to get a ton of value out of the Mei Reaper strat they were going for. I think the main problem was that they didn't have a Lucio in the first fight, which means that they couldn't speed through the choke point there and get past all their spam damage.
But Bayport did get a lot of ults that fight. They have 3 already, and they just used a Doomfist one.
And Doomfist will charge very quickly. I think the only problem that they might see is that Reinhardt does have a Shatter coming up soon, so it's going to be a competition between Bowser and Houston to see who can block the Shatter. Looks like we are probably going to have to restart the map due to the 20 seconds we wasted through a pause. Was that my microphone or yours? Real tech is mine, I think. Test, test, test. Oh, we got it. Yeah. I think just mine because it says that this is the default device. So I don't know if there's a way to solve that, to be honest. Other than this one, and then also click and listen to this device. Yeah.
Now arriving at Lijiang Tower.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, what is it doing us through, by the way? I think we should be good to go.
Initiating match.
Can you do a test?
Hello? Hello?
Again?
Hello? Hello?
Hello? Hello? Okay, mine's working. Probably gotta cancel. I think we're only gonna get one microphone if we do that at the same time, so I'm gonna go ahead and cancel that. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3.
Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3.
Testing, testing.
Hello? Hello, hi. Hi, friend.
Check in. Test, test.
Test, test. Hello, Ozzy. I like your hat. Oh,
Now arriving at Lijiang Tower.
after fixing some technical difficulties, we are back in the game now, although instead of starting on the control center, we're going to start on Night Market instead. Team comp-wise, Night Market is much more of an open space and allows for Widowmaker, Firefly that you can't usually see within control center. So I am interested to see what Horlick decides to pull out.
And a lot of boops too, because I know someone on Horlick is a big Lucio main, and she's gonna go for them boops. I'm excited to see that.
Well, I'm definitely excited to try to see some play there. There's also a very big Hammond map.
Yep.
So if there is a map for one of the teams to play Hammond, this has to be it.
Has to be. I'm excited to see that. Let's see if Godzo pulls out the Hanzo. And he does end up pulling out the Hanzo. So it does look like Horlick's going with the same team comp as last game. But Bayport is pulling out the McCree this time. But Bayport does have the Ryan Zard combo, which is a very good tank combination. While Horlick is going to Ryan Diva instead to eat all the bullets.
So it does look like you're both going to be on Ryan Zard. Horlick is running more of a DPS than a Meld. Bayport's kind of looking more
And Diva is diving, and Diva's already out of mag. And Doomfist did that.
Albert doesn't feel like the fight was taking a decent after rocket. It looks like Bayport's going to have the point here, but it is
That's what they're going to go for right now.
This just looks like it's going to end up being in favor of Bayport. What's the point?
Oh, but he gets the hammer already.
This is the Honda.
Even now, but Bayport is coming back. There you go. So I can sit back, wait for him to respawn, prison first.
And then switch out to the ground. It looks like McCree is being used to try to control the defense engages. We're definitely struggling with the punches. So
That's it for the fat shot here. And we do get one. Oh, but Anna gets a good sleep. Give us the contestant. He has not let him go.
Now looking at the ultimates, Horlick was able to force out most of the ultimates from the side of Bayport. However, they do have the Abaddon. They're quite able to build that up inside. So this will be a very, very hard fight for Horlick to win.
And Covert is doing a really good job on Doomfist, jumping in, knowing who to take out and punch right into the wall. So he can get the control lead.
Огонь по готовности!
Oh, and he did get the smash.
Houston Shatter does secure the round, and it does look like this first round of Night Market is going over to the side of Bayport.
It's Hanu.
I think the most important thing you saw there from Bayport was the use of comfort to disrupt the enemy. To try to make sure that they're all on different places and get rid of your butt. Yeah.
But they're actually up with the Zen this time. Oh, they're going to triple support? The Horlick is going to triple support. Oh, they're going triple support, triple tank.
They're running more of a tank competition, but notice it is important to notice that Outrun's on Roadhog, which means they are prioritizing damage. They also have a brigade, they have an on-end net, so a little more strategic. Oh, does switch to the brigade at the end. So they're running a super fast competition. I want to watch Cobra at the beginning here just to see exactly how he decides to play this rollout. does answer. As Overwatch, you have to what the point does now is that Horlick does have a lot more. Probably able to do with a lot more 3 points left.
I think it's good for a big team fight. They did get the hook on Covert. And finally goes down. Oh. Wasted the ult. But it's still an even fight right now. This is a very good use of it. Very good use of the ult there to give them space to them.
Second fight here, we're going to see Dasso having a charge. However, he's able to match that with another fat shatter.
And Hog going with the nano boost with pig ult.
Maybe it's from my creep, but Dasso was able to find him out, and hopefully he's going to kill him.
McCree does go down for guys though.
This looks like another fight seeker for Horlick. Their composition of kind of weird anecdotes takes steroids is something that Bayport was obviously not ready to handle.
They're going to still stick with the same team comp. Hopefully it'll work out for them. But it does look like Bayport is going around and getting away this time. Hopefully she picks it up. But Horlick just jumps right in there and gets him.
Bayport's just really struggling to kind of find their stride versus this composition, but they're not making any switches to try to deal with the problems they're having. One of the most important problems they're having is that they're not able to match the HPS sustain that Horlick is having from this kind of goat hybrid, and they're not really able to deal more damage. So they are going to push over kind of another kind of hybrid.
Oh, do they get the first hit on the team?
And honestly, there's more important about this.
Огонь по готовности!
Ooh! Good shot. Looks like you can make great use of the ult to save him for the right moment.
And that round does make the score 1-2-1.
Horlick did a great job that time working as a team and using the comp to best them.
Moving to the next round, you do see all the open space right here being sent from our broadcasting team. All this open space you can use to play Pharah, play Widowmaker. Much more DPS comps are viable on these maps than the previous two maps. We do see Cobra kind of over the far here. He might be thinking about whipping it out.
And Bayport did switch over to the Hog too, but we're seeing switch over the Reinhardt to a Monkey, try to get some jumps and boops off.
Like we were talking about earlier, the open sentinel, the open area does mean that Cobra and Jinx are able to play two characters that you normally wouldn't be able to see on much more close quarters.
And go try to go for Boop right, but the Diva ate it.
This support is kind of good hybrid. They have two supports, so what's going to do like
So the third just getting these little chip damage up to help build her all. And Covert stays left as that Mercy's pocketing him. And he gets the... Oh! And Covert does look at a really big play there. Oh, but just gotta leave. Oh, Diva does commit. Go. Very smart of her to do that, so she wouldn't get
a composition that would work much better for Horlick here would be matching their DPS characters. Instead of playing the 10 versus DPS lineup, when you're trying to play into a Pharah and an Ashe, it's very hard to play without a Reinhardt. Or matching that damage with similar combos.
Especially when Ashe gets bobbed and she throws it on point, they have nothing there to take care of it. And it's a very big play by him.
Nothing is trying to return on the cover. This is still a useless fight. Where's the casual for red turn?
Number 3 does let him get the Reinhardt for this, so Sig will get an ult. There's a very big... He gets a big hop. Oh. And Hog is
Looks like there will be another fight win for Bayport, which uses a 60% advantage on the point.
And Farrah did get that big boop on that brig.
Cover staggering Yabaseba there was also a pretty big deal because this next fight will happen and they won't have time for another full fight. So Horlick really needs to regroup, kind of find their stride, use the correct ultimate when they need to, and hopefully take this fight or else they will lose this round.
And Horlick does go have ult advantage here with 3 ultimates.
Oh, the map it's not that big of a deal because Horlick does have that absolutely massive impact ultimate here, and the only ultimate that's working with right now is
Diva throws in a bomb. But Diva gets his back bomb!
wow, Neon Lane with the absolute massive kill. Everyone's trying to do whatever he can to make up for this one. Both trying to pick on the touches again. This is going equal as well. Everybody come up. So they're looking at everyone step off the map before he can kill. And that means that Horlick does win the fight, and this match is still on.
But we do see our Morris switch there, try to get some more healing, some more damage going out.
When Taz DPS does switch over to Moira, I mean, Moira is a better pick to deal with a lot of DPS spam damage. Clover, understanding that Godzo isn't all his shots on high, does mean he switches over to the Blueberry. Look at Assassin Cat, kind of out of right now. Looks like he's looking for some chip damage, maybe a cheeky. See, Diva, this is a chance for them to go in. Looks like they're not going to take advantage of it. Go!
Hopefully. Oh, and Cobra did get booped by the Lucio. That's a very big play. And Diva's throwing in her ult, but Ryan's going to try to lock him some shield.
It's not looking too favorable for this instead of points. Guzzo is done taking the 1 HP and Abaddon does find Guzzo as well. All the supports are down as well. It's just the with
Oh! Vincent was trying to get to the goal.
And that's this. Oh, and off the map with Neon Light goes, and that does secure this map for Bayport.
That's a very good play.
Absolutely massive on the Neon Light here. Does secure part of the point here. The on the round.
That thing is a game-changing play right there. But one thing to take note of, Covert did switch around like 3 DPS around to try to go with a different team comp that they was doing.
However, Covert still couldn't necessarily find the pressure, or at least wasn't able to match the pressure of Godzo that round.
He was not able to.
Godzo looked extremely dominant on all the hitscan characters he played that round. However, we still haven't seen him been able to play too much time on the Hanzo here. I'd like to see a little more of his signature character.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. But one thing I would like to comment on was the healers. The healers are a very big factor in the fight. The Lucis and they're healing everyone, getting the speed boost right to go in team fights. I feel like that's very underappreciated.
I'm not really sure who the player BP Esports one is because it's definitely a school account, but whoever is playing that Lucio is definitely putting in a lot of work for this team.
Yeah, it's very true.
Next map looks like it's going to be King's Row. That will mean that Horlick is attacking first and Bayport is defending. So what's important about King's Row is that it's definitely a very GOATS favored matchup.
Yeah.
Either you run quad DPS, Shilpa DPS, or GOATS. There's not really a lot of variance. So I'd love to see what these high school teams are able to bring to the table instead of what collegiate teams bring.
In the semifinals, Bayport did come out with 2 snipers as a DPS. They went with a Hanzo and an Ash.
I'm definitely interested to see because in the test machine, the only thing you'll see on King's Row is most definitely GOATS compositions. So I'm definitely interested to see what the high school team's able to bring us today.
I'm banking on a lot of snipers. But one thing Bayport did do right last in the semifinals, they played the statue very well. They used the statue's defense when the Rhine shield was down, and they used that to the fullest potential.
Definitely beneficial to try to use cover when your run shield's down, so you don't need to hold it up the entire time, especially when you're playing versus double sniper. Obviously, being the Widowmaker player for my Tespa team, King's Row is extremely free to play attack on if you're able to kind of, weave in these angles to the different spots you can send a Widowmaker, get some silence past the Rhine shield and some good shots over the statue. Kind of makes it very easy to clean up.
It's very easy. I'm very excited to see the team comps.
The lore of King's Row map is that Widowmaker did kill someone here, so it'd only be natural if we were to see a Widowmaker start here.
And just like like I said, they do go with the Hanzo Ash for Bayport as a DPS.
So Bayport is on defense, obviously. So running DPS comps is kind of better than running something kind of specialized. Usually when you're on a defensive round, you're not able to adjust your team comp to what the offensive team is running. So it's usually better to kind of have a hit scan character, a spam damage character, a shield tank, versatile off tank. Usually you'll see a Rissa and Diva on this map instead of a Reinhardt Zarya, but we'll be able to see what they kind of do with this composition.
And Harlick does bring out the Zenyatta, which we have not seen yet.
Also important to notice is that they're playing Mercy and Auto because they don't have a defensive ult for the crab that Gonzo will go.
And Harlick is running triple support.
Looks like going to try to run straight into. We don't have a break cover, so we don't have a lot of brawling potential, but I don't know if it's kind of pushing through.
The Rhino already is down.
Not having the break did make a very big difference for Bowser. Bowser's not able to get that health back, and he's able to be too low. Houston just mopping the floor at the beginning of the forward.
A very big play by Houston.
One second here.
Objective lost. Stop the payload.
Огонь по готовности!
And we are back. Horn definitely has a very dominant pace here. We saw Cloud CBS better with that reproll. He's got a clean house.
Helden sterben nicht.
During this next fight, we do see Bayport have every skill set available to them, but that definitely fight.
Огонь по готовности!
Looks like this is going to be the round, mainly because the Cobra kid.
But one thing that Horlick is doing very well, they're sending a run in, they're just having Zenyatta and a shoot him with the orbs and a shots to heal him so
The
he
most
can do the
important
damage.
part when you do Transcendence grab is to make sure you discord one target and try to charge up a right click and spam that target all at the same time, because Transcendence is 200 killing per second, but it's not done instantly, so you're able to burst people through that 40 punches. So we're playing super aggro here. Just go back to my Abaddon and take a pick on the front. Yes. Another important to note is that Houston already has grabs, so him returning to the side of this is super important.
Ultimate is charged. Nano boost is charged.
big shatter. And he gets a big charge. Someone makes it alive.
Another fight for Bayboy. They do hold this one. So Alan's definitely good news for
And Cobra does have the jag to use next fight.
we don't really see a combo yet, although the combo will be answered by one of the portal turns anyways. So having that dragon down is important. Hopefully Cobra can force out his dragon and then have another dragon.
Yep.
Ooh, another fire effect.
But
oh, and it does look like our Overwatch client is going to crash, so we're going to have to wait to relaunch it and get re-invited to that game. That's kind of unfortunate.
well, these guys here listen to our beautiful voices.
Now entering King's Row.
And we are back, re-invited to the lobby again. It doesn't look like a whole lot. It kind of looks like it's still kind of holding the point. It does look like Portals won the 2 point, however, and that would mean they have to the 3rd point. 3-point show plan is very defensive game. It's more about kind of holding the high ground, getting us and then looking after.
But as you can see right now that Harley has no ult right now to use, so they just sit and just ready.
We don't see the Hanzo or the Ash try to use the high ground here, and doesn't have a chance to answer the high ground usage here, so I'm kind of disappointed that doesn't work on my
Helden sterben nicht.
the Valkyrie, but there we go. Damage. There's a lot of damage here on the right shield. They're going to and then look to advance on them, but they have to play defensively because they're not able to match the damage that Horus.
Огонь по готовности. Wadrihum
Grab,
with
they're only trying to shut them down, but they're trying to do something. They have to take it down there. But it does look like it'll be a pretty serious fight for Horus. If this one, they will capture the point.
Even when Harley does end up taking it away.
Play of the game. Now entering King's Row. Now entering King's Row. Prepare your defenses. Select your hero. Now entering King's Row. Initiating match.
Alrighty, we are back now after that technical difficulty. We're going to have to replay King's Row, unfortunately. So leading into this next round, it's the same team attack and same team defend. We see Bayport on the defense and Horlick on the offense. I'm kind of interested to see how they play this out. Now that they know each other's turns on only on the first point.
Very
I
interesting.
wonder we'll see the same strategy, if we'll see a different strategy. I know that we saw some DPS characters for the defense, but no DPS for the offense. Kind of see, you know, how they adjust their strategy to deal with what they saw last round.
Ready for
At the
battle.
very beginning, we see Horlick kind of favor that, tank line favored matchup with that one DPS. We see that go to Reaper, and then on the side of Bayport again, we do see the same kind of composition with the Ana, Lucio, Hanzo, and Ash.
Attackers incoming in 30
Last time I believe it was a Mercy Ana, however, so the Lucio does make it so they have a defensive ultimate, which is super, super important in order to hold on defense. A big problem they had last time was as soon as Horlick was able to, nail the Reinhardt, as soon as they got a Reaper ultimate, they didn't really have an answer for it, so hopefully this Lucio will be that answer they were looking for.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Alright, at the start of the round here, you'll see the path of
Attackers
Horlick
incoming.
teams. Teams will favor going to the right of the statue just so they take less damage. Seems like they go right through it, however, straight to the
Straight into enemy.
This is so strange, doesn't it? Monitoring is absolutely massive. And actually, with Reaper, there's definitely what happened before.
And
A massive anti-contest.
Big nade.
Team fight win from Bayport. On the overcharge scenes, we already see Assassin Cat basically has nano boost after the first fight. Just had a 4-man anti and a 4-man healing biotic grenade, and it's just kind of over from that point.
The pain.
God. Right on, big Shadow. And you got a fat shot.
Really well played character. Make sure that Sonovar got the Discord onto they melted him. There was no shield there. It was a really open shadow.
It worked out perfectly.
We reach the next point here on Bayport. Has everything right now, but I think it's hard to start. It's kind of like
The big dragon.
And that looks like a combo of both offensive ultimates will mean that it's a fight win for Bayport. But at the cost. Down goes their Lucio, it's the only defensive ultimate. They won't be able to cast Shatter very well. They both of their DPS ultimates, which means they don't have too much aggression here until they go to the field again.
Enemy contact.
Good as they know, just if they need it.
Horlick also has support ultimates to kind of answer the aggression that Bayport can put forward. What's really confusing to me personally is that Horlick did have these portals with Bayport. They definitely could have trans as soon as they nano them, and they could have straight into Bayport with that transcendence, and then called it a Pulse Lucio as well.
And it did miss the nano round of
It's
the
like
Lucio.
Shadow. Everyone's already dead.
Very questionable.
Over finds another pick on the Sonovar. Bayport's making a pretty steady hold for block.
And he is taking the high ground.
It is important to note that Bayport did lose the first fight very early, so they have a ton of time to cap off their second point. But since normally goes right quick on King's Row, he's the person who takes a while. This phase is going to take a while.
And do the Hanzo. The Hanzo is going crazy right now.
definitely a really good crossfire from Clover here. He's able to find a lot of damage with the other with the enemy team, and he's going to be able to clean up on the front line as well with an enemy skill. Now looking at ultimates, we see that Horlick doesn't have any ultimates available currently. Iron Bowser's kind of close on his Reinhardt, it looks like, but outside of that, just got it. It looks like Neil is the only upcoming ultimate for the enemy for Horlick. Bayport does have a Shatter and a Lucio, but Hunter Dragon's almost back online.
They will have big ultimate backup, which is very important. Looking to return fire from Abaddon. He wants to destroy and Abaddon's playing really great. And they're going to push in with the Brigade ult.
They pop the rally for the movement speed, and they will end up chasing down the remaining members of the What's important to note is that Bitcoin did extend very far into the Horlick's ground, which made them kind of take that fight more towards the entrance of the street, which means that Horlick will be able to... Horlick has to win another fight in order to win the street phase, but Bitcoin can regroup. Usually street phase ends in one fight, and that happens right around here, but since they did take the fight very close to the entrance, they should have time to regroup and essentially contest the fight. They'll be looking at Sonovar to kind of give that 10-10 time to answer a defensible. Yeah, the Nano and a Hunter Dragon will probably have that
Here comes the dragon. McCree does come.
The headshot looks like that's going to be the end of the fight. Bayport does take this win. There's still 1 minute left to cap from Horlick, and they do have a couple of ultimates. They have the combo views, and Bayport doesn't have an answer to that yet. So as long as they're able to find a lot of members inside that grab dragon, this might be a win for Horlick for this point.
Horlick definitely does have the upper hand in ults as of right now, but you'll see the grab and shatter coming down from Bayport.
I can bench more than you.
Zarya kind of flexing on the enemy team here.
Огонь по готовности!
Dragon goes through. They have to talk about that. Is an absolutely massive combo, which will lead to a point capture for Horlick, and we're going to point 3.
And how is he trying to use that?
Assassin Cat's definitely gets staggered here. I probably would have jumped in. Moves a couple of seconds here for a regroup. They only have 1 minute and 45 seconds to push to the third point. It takes a lot of time, but they do have kind of an advantage to go through this. They'll be able to push through very quickly. That stagger on Assassin Cat means that they won't have a 10% right here, which means they get kind of some free area to kind of push through.
And Covert switch off the Hanzo to the Doom Fist.
Yeah, I'm trying to disrupt the enemy team. Does only spin right now. Doesn't try tracking, but this is a couple of seconds.
But it did get a massive shatter. But it does. That's a good transition. Oh!
That does really have no, absolutely no ultimate left.
Cooper may be able to get his mid-fight.
Horlick only has to win one fight. The point's really, really close, and they do have that ultimate. They'll have a combo again. Like I said, they don't have any ultimates to deal with the Hanzo Dragon combo. Cooper has to get in and eliminate the Hanzo or the Zarya before this thing starts, where will close his ass.
That's very true.
He's definitely looking for a rollout here. He's trying to find out the target that he's looking for. He went up to the center, but he definitely has to go behind. Oh, just on the Lucio. Oh, just behind the point. That's absolutely massive pick.
Massive.
Just for the hook on the front of there as well. That is a two-man lead here. They're going to have to defend the point to shut this down.
Perfect.
Save something good idea here.
Огонь по готовности!
Hold here for Bayport on the third point.
Clover definitely was the deciding factor in that last fight with that pick on the Hanzo. That's very important.
Definitely, Koga was definitely aware of what was happening here. They were able to ult track just well enough to understand what the ultimates were coming up from the enemy team. They knew the win condition. He was able to find the Hanzo pick. Looked like he was going for Lucio there, and I was a little terrified he was making a mistake, but he did end up finding the right pick they need, and that does secure a hold on third point for Bayport. However, Horlick did push that card a very, very, very far ways into the Bayport's base. moving to this defense round, I am definitely going to expect Bayport to run the snipers, probably an Ashe Hanzo like they have been running recently. Works just as well on offense as it does on defense. I wouldn't be surprised to see a similar comp. Horlick's been definitely favoring the tank coalitions here with 1 DPS, so I wouldn't be surprised to see the same thing once more. It does look like that's what we're going to see. Probably, interesting composition from Horlick here. It looks like Mercy, Ana, and Zenyatta.
And Covert does decide to go with the Pharah this time instead of the Hanzo. With the
So I think
pharmacy.
what we're seeing from Horlick is the understanding that they do have 2-star DPS players. They're trying to run Mercy potentially to try to pocket those 2-star players and get the most amount of value they can. It does look like that's what they're rolling out with, but it looks like Reinhardt's going back to spawn. They could see maybe a Winston Diva, or maybe just more DPS characters. Oh, they just switched back to the Rein Zarya. Looks like Neon and Bowser are more comfortable in those space.
It
So
seems to be working out.
Hanzo on Doomsday. I think we were talking about the Mercy there to pocket those DPS characters, and we'll see how this goes.
Attackers incoming. Defend objective.
So I'm trying to get that nade down.
There's a grenade in the air here.
Oh, but it hit the wall.
Yeah,
Gonzo
is really low. Just go with Zarya, Punk on the Mercy, and he's to fully speed. They have absolutely no one that can deal with the Covert in the air right now. We're not going to see
the Ashe has a very good blind sight right now.
as a talk about it, once the DPS does go down, Covert Thompson, that's the only part of the tower they have is a Hanzo, which is not very good.
Thanks for the assist.
And Mercy does not have River now.
That's doing really good. They're trying to find Jinx. They're just about out here.
My ultimate is shot.
Covert's go. Really scared to go for it.
Covert is
Covert's
doing
just a little bit. This pocket's still not low enough. Absolutely not.
But Covert is getting.
That's a ton of work there. Absolutely decimates the backline. We'll see Bayport capture the first point with a pretty readily amount of time left, a little bit slower than Horlick did, but hopefully they're able to kill these guys a lot more. We see Gonzo's pick over to the McCree to deal with the fire pick. The only problem I think I have is that if you do pick the McCree to counter fire, you usually have to pocket the McCree with your Mercy in order to give him the damage boost.
Yep.
So, but that's that, honestly, that was something I do a lot more waste this opportunity able to do. If there was more of a better Widowmaker. I haven't seen any Widowmaker yet this time.
We have not. But I feel like Covert is doing a very good job in knowing where he should be and what shit that we should be doing right now.
We see Covert kind of steadily dropping a little bit, tipping a little bit below this the ceiling, and then going back above it to make sure he doesn't take any chip damage he doesn't need to. He's going for a flank here. Might have to build his barrage and then look for it. That is a fine win for Bayport.
Not waste this opportunity.
The only thing to point out this point as well is just like we were talking about earlier, that's 5 ultimates used from the side of Bayport during that one fight in Streets phase. However, it is Streets phase, so there is usually only one real fight that happens. And Horlick doesn't have a lot to answer with as well because they also expended a lot of ultimates that fight. So I don't think we'll see a whole lot of fight back from Horlick this time. They do have that grab combo, so they might have to push forward now and try to get out, but they're fine kind of, pulling back into the scene.
Yep, they're just sitting back and let it happen.
That's what's going to happen. They definitely, Bayport pushed right into the phase. They spent a lot of ultimates, but they aren't going to half for 230, so it's definitely running through.
Covert is doing really low. But,
That's
yeah, but the grab Hanzo combo, that's happening right now.
Anyone that's involved that actually put on the ground, especially when it's fight after Horlick there and Big. Oh, Horlick does put a couple of things there, but it's only the Tigers and Mercy just on the res. It's not going to do a whole lot.
Covert is going back. Very smart.
You see Summer with the Valkyrie. Did not take it though.
I think he's waiting for the Pharah, but Pharah does fall before he gets the ult. Yep. Yep. But Pharah does on the blood. It does.
This Hanzo is popping off this fight. An absolute ton of damage from the Hanzo there, and the Gonzo while he was on Ashe there. The team fight did some fist. Lost his ultimate in the process, but definitely just to make sure he got time to
But
back.
if I was Vapor right now, I'd be feeling pretty good right now. Only have to push the cart 1 or 2 more fights, and I was.
Definitely very close. Abaddon does have his grabs in, and Hoyland does have absolutely no answer since they're running Mercy and Ana. So we'll kind of see what they're able to do with this grab. They do change picks. The Abaddon down, but the now. Oh, Hanzo just down because he did extend 2 more times to round actually.
Огонь по готовности!
They have the shield for this. Oh, forward cards actually have
Огонь по готовности!
they have to grab of their own. Absolutely massive slam. They does save that fight. That was very dangerous. That goes them off guard, just push them off guard so they don't get as much value when they are percentage out of it. So I think they're kind of running into their stall here, so they're looking for this group and percentage try to fight. This is very, very rough for Horlick here.
They do
something!
Ryan does find a kill.
But Bob does come out.
An absolutely clean fight from Beyblade there does end the map, and that is a 2-0 advantage for Beyblade.
Yeah, Bayport has a 2-0 lead right now. If they win the next map, they win the state finals.
Play of the game.
Play the game here is playing with that absolutely massive dragon combo we saw from the first. Dragon here, overpredicted himself on the clock for point 2. Looks like they skipped it pretty quickly there, so we don't get to see the whole thing. What's important to know with these compositions is that neither team is running a defensive support ultimate, which means that it's very dependent on who gets that first big tank ultimate out first. That's probably who's going to win the fight, unless the other tank can match that ultimate. For example, you'll see a lot of shatters into another shatter to kind of counteract that. As soon as a Reinhardt shatters and finds people on the floor, it's very common for the enemy Reinhardt to try to look for a counter shatter to stop them from advancing. So it's very typical after one Reinhardt uses a shatter to answer shatters.
Bayport.
Traveling to Dorado. Initiating match. Ready for battle.
The final map, this is game point for Bayport. Holik absolutely has to win Dorado, else we will see the entire series go over to Bayport. On Dorado here, you do definitely see a lot more of open area as well, so you see more DPS comps and AG team comps. The second phase, high ground is also super, super important. Being able to bounce between these two high grounds on defense to make sure that the offense can't jump on you is crucial.
Let me see Gonzo on the trace. Oh, Gonzo switched to Genji, which you have not seen yet. Very excited to see what he does on Genji. Already saw when Bowser go on the Winston, try to get a dive comp in.
His first point, usually uses the defense up where Houston is right now. Just kind of chilling up here, using spare damage, and then we'll take the first fight into the break. However, some teams more recently have gotten to the point where they'll take the first fight in one side of the gate. That would allow for them to take a second fight. Here you see the fire come out. They are answered by they have a Reaper as well, so they kind of have a partial answer to fire. Oh, a South Gate shot right in a row on DPS. That will keep that first round in lead. Right here, usually you like to see maybe the Reinhardt jump on point because you test because they have heads. You don't want to give them free space when you don't have to. so easy to put Hanzo. Absolutely just knocked down, however. Cobra's kind of standing up there. They're not on the fight yet, though. They're kind of getting the
And passive DPS does switch up to the Junkrat. But the Mercury is checking him too much.
He's definitely a large fan of here. Kind of fighting for Warwick to do it. He got to switch to Widowmaker. Oh! Immediately switches to Widowmaker, tries to pick on the Cobra. Toss DPS, lobs over grenade, and does hit Jinx. Definitely can see the Mercury there. Boy, trying to counter the fight here. I think he likes for Jinx to rely on 1-6.
Diva is being very aggressive.
But at what cost? This first point is very hard to hold for Warwick because they're really stagnant right now. Does look like the first point is going to go over Warwick purely because they won't be able to get a solid unit on the point here to have to support. It'd be wise for them to kind of retreat until they come to the point.
Oh, and Widow does get the Ana again. But Genji's jumping in the Widow, but he's not. Oh, cool.
Oh! Nasty shot to the wrist. Get the fight. Not everything shot there.
That was a crazy.
Setting up the back.
Widow does pop on.
Gato here on the Widowmaker. Gato making it very clear that he's not just a Hanzo one.
No one can hide from my sight.
He pops out a little early here. They're not really looking to extend past their spawn anyways with the regrouping. Finds a headshot to the Reinhardt there. Not much damage will happen here. He's looking for a shot of Jinx, but does take it too late. I would have popped out a little bit later because they weren't out of their spawn yet.
Ooh, that's a good bubble.
Widowmaker is very dangerous here. He's definitely playing That's exactly what will happen when you think Widowmaker is Mercury.
But each team is doing a very good job at consuming their ults, keeping them until the time is needed.
I'm not does find the Gato finally. Still coming in fight down. They face a lot more ultimates than Horror.
Here's the bomb.
Never find anyone though. They're able to retreat in time. Cobra does have the blade, but the time to get the following what down here does have the Winston. Ana's not able to kill the Genji in time. This will be very hard for Cobra to do.
Winston's doing a very good job focusing swishes when he can. Mercury's like.
Doesn't try to kill those Mercury down here. No one knows what
The Genji does go in. And he does get the gun.
It's a very fight here, not going to jump up damage, not going to jump that situation, and off to face the Genji goes.
See ya, buddy. Hope you found your dad.
Warwick making pretty quick work of this Bayport defense here on Dorado. Still with 4 minutes and 30 seconds left in the time for this next push.
But we do see a couple switches. Gonzo is now on the Torburn, and Cobra is now on the Reaper.
Might be a little bit of disrespect from Gonzo here on the Torburn. The turn is not off at this point, but there's so many more, anything more valuable picks than the Hanzo here, for example. Maybe they're looking for a combo with the Target ultimate. They dropped the beat, but there's nothing really happening, so it's kind of...
Yes. There's a preemptive beat that nothing happens to us. It's a great ult. But that's a good sleep. And it does have a hammer.
Why you'll end up nanoing your Reinhardt usually in this composition is just to build up that next Shatter, so the next fight you'll be able to use the Earth Shatter to have a very high value tank ultimate. You'll do the same with Zarya if she's kind of close to her grab, but you really need the grab immediately. You end up nanoing her while she's high charges to build up the grab event. So definitely good use of the nano boost of Assassin Cat. You're able to build it up very quickly in this composition anyways.
And we will see the Diva Bomb that she has, and Junker is super close with all a couple more direct hits, and he'll have it.
Like we were talking about, the Scorpio pick seems kind of tough from Gato. He does get too much. Doesn't get double it though, so it's not too much trouble here, but does get tough. Winston looking to take advantage of the high ground. Oh! The Shatter only finds Sonomar though. Doesn't even take it up. Not so fun for return fake on the Silver here. The fight's still kind of clean here. The ultimates are more fitted towards Spoiler here.
And there goes the Diva Bomb, but he goes in the room. But it does find two.
With 3 in the side, we're on the corner, 5 in the corner. The enemies with the Houston, however, just looks like a minus.
The Nana Ryan is just too strong.
Bayport does definitely find the there. They're still definitely holding very strong with points. 2 solid minutes. There's only a little bit of the point push.
Horlick has nothing to counter the nano to Ryan. Every time he gets it, just sweeps him.
You have to try not to stick that, and it's really hard to hit, or you need to juggle him away from your team. But we did see them use both controls, which was very aggressive in the last fight, so they weren't able to use them defensively. We see the same thing happened last time. You shatter and then you nano, so who's thinking build up the next shatter? Already has another one. Fire in the hole! The R-Ware where it's coming from, Lucy tries to kill it, really super aggro here. Oh! And Dahlia got just find Dahlia close to even. Doesn't touch base on a Jinx, however, the shadow goes down. Absolutely mousy shadow, but they cannot aggress yet. However, it does look like Bayport is able to do enough damage. Oh, the sleep onto the right heart. Assassin Cat's grenade will probably secure the fight for Bayport. Which is something to make a couple more interesting than that fight. I'm struggling to get past this small little point here. I'm wondering if they have thought about contesting the high ground first and sweeping out the Lucio from the high ground and the Reaper and then trying to push through that area.
There's a very questionable Junkrat play. Result.
Here, it might seem like a beat into a here. We do know that they're kind of close to ground. They should have been old tracking enough. But the real he does almost have another shatter ready to go because of that. Nothing's gonna stop. Horlick really looking like they're struggling against the Bayport lineup. Came into this tournament definitely as the favored one to win here. Hasn't dropped a map the entire season up until the playoffs. And here they are. They're definitely struggling to find their stride versus Bayport.
You gotta just switch up to the Hanzo.
Fire it loose!
They're very big grab. Oh, but it's a good move.
A lot of damage there. Does that
Great shatter.
A hold on third point for Bayport.
Houston was definitely MVP of that round.
Insane amount of shatters. Assassin Cat working very well with Houston to make sure that he does have a shatter for almost every single fight they've had so far. Massive shatters throughout payload, finding terrain to hide behind for a surprise shatter. Just overall insane play from Houston communication between him and Assassin Cat. Horlick has to feel a little demoralized after that one. They got held on the point for about 4 minutes and 30 seconds there, just really not able to find their stride on the last point. Hopefully this round we'll see Horlick kind of, group it together really quick and, there is chance for that reverse sweep. It is 2-0 in favor of Bayport right now. It's looking a little rough for Horlick here. Bayport doesn't have to push it that far into the third point.
Ready for battle.
We do see the Batiste coming out.
Yeah, Baptiste is usually something that you'll only play in compositions that are bunker focused with an Orisa, maybe a Diva and a Roadhog. Kind of rare to see them with this kind of composition, especially if you have a Pharah.
Yeah. We switch up to the Sombra also. Oh, with the
Soldier. There we go. This composition is a little bit better to see a Baptiste in. However, your only form of a defensive here with this team composition, the same thing, I think the reason why Horlick's been struggling so much is because they don't have a lot of defensive ultimates. And even if they do have a defensive ultimate like a beat, they use it aggressively. I'm kind of disappointed not to see them run like a Zenyatta more like they did in King's Row.
Yeah.
The only thing they have is the Immortality Field, and even that doesn't last super long.
1. Attackers incoming.
Now, I'm interested to see Blue Gunzo is going to prioritize the hack here. I haven't seen a Sombra in this tournament. Jonah's going to have... That's not going to hide. Hacking helps out kind of worth at this point, so it's kind of like a hacking out. Get in here! Ooh, just going to have
very important.
But
wow, Jinx does find them. EMIs is getting messed with by Bayport right now.
Really not doing a lot for this field, didn't have enough healing output or enough sustain. The immortality field wasn't super big impact for him either, like we were talking about. Overall, just not a lot of value from the Baptiste. It's not a bunker comp. Knowing it's on point, but high time to manage here. Really good move up as fast as you can, but even then it's only 50%. But we're finding a ton of value on this Genji here in their backline. 5 minutes, 13 seconds on game definitely makes it very quick work for them. I will say that I am very impressed with how Abaddon's holding his bubbles. He's sacrificing a lot of charge that he could be getting a potential carry on his Zarya in order to make sure that he'll back to his First time from the high ground, Dennis gonna have people want to catch him up there. Oh, after the massive category.
Oh, Genji's absolutely popping off.
The Sombra translocated at high ground too. I saw that hit. That was pretty huge.
And it's like you said, Abaddon's been doing a great job looking out for like Genji whenever he dives and give him that shield.
We just did EMP here on Dogtail. I'm just looking for an EMP visor combo, maybe with a Mercy Pocket, maybe a grab combo.
Fire at will!
But the Batiste.
Ooh, Assassin Cat does find Godzo on his way out.
But the Mercy trying over there when we go right now.
Mercy's res Godzo, however. Definitely a clean fight from Horlick. Not a ton of ultimates used. Does find a good stagger at the Jinx as well. That's a very big stagger. That's going to delay them by at least 5 or 6 seconds. Going to this next fight, I think the people we're going to have to keep our eyes on is Abaddon's grab. Potentially, Clash of the DS is a really good value duel for the pocket.
I can bend more than you.
We're talking about the damage of the grab right now.
This is very low. Soldier does pop off, but get the soldier.
He's finding endless value on this Reinhardt.
Yeah, a little less than 5 minutes to push his payload, about 60 meters. Drops him out. Bayport win. Bayport is the official Wisconsin State champion.
Absolutely crucial player from Bayport here. Insane teamfight potential from Houston and Covert. Definitely great communication between the Ana and the Reinhardt that game. Making sure we always have that challenge to right now. Definitely a teamfight save here from the blade. Look at this very end of this blade, however. He fights up and he got upset. But unfortunately, it wasn't tough.
Bayport with the commanding the 3-0 win.
Horlick definitely came into this competition looking very favored in the matchup. Bayport was definitely a contender for the championship as well, but Horlick just hadn't dropped a map all throughout the lead up to this tournament. Gets here and Bayport just hits him with a clean 3-0.
Very strong by Bayport.
And that will sum up the Overwatch portion of tonight's event. Your grand champions are going to be Bayport here. We'll have an award ceremony coming up pretty soon.